Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome to another episode of DOCasts. In this episode, we're going to cover installing Mobile Shell, otherwise known as MOSH, on your virtual server. And what MOSH is a terminal application that allows a more robust and responsive communication with your server when you're on a wireless network of some sort. So if you've ever been to like a Starbucks or a coffee shop of some sort and you're on the Wi-Fi network, if you've ever noticed the latencies that are involved with so many people being on that network and just trying to communicate with your server with your computer, you'll notice that sometimes if you process a command and then you're like, uh-oh, I need to stop that and press Control C, you'll notice that sometimes it won't stop right away. And maybe it won't stop at all because of the latencies. And what Mobile Shell is aiming to accomplish is to make that more responsive. So if you Control C within Mobile Shell, it does it immediately on your side, and then the protocol takes care of stopping it on the server as soon as possible. So it makes using the terminal and communicating with the server on your side a lot more responsive and a lot more clean. So if you want to get into the details of what Mobile Shell is and how it works, I recommend that you take a look at the tech video here. Watch this tech video, it's super interesting, and they explain the differences between SSH and Mobile Shell, because Mobile Shell is a replacement for SSH. And SSH, traditionally, it works by conveying a bit stream from the server to the client, whereas Mobile Shell will use a new protocol called State Synchronization Protocol, and you can see that here. And you can get into the details again by reading how MOSH works and just kind of looking through the article in this page here and getting into the nitty-gritty. But again, in this episode, we're going to go over installing Mobile Shell on your server. So when you get to mosh.mit.edu, you'll see the Get MOSH button here. Go ahead and click on that, and it'll take you to the Getting MOSH area, where you'll see that they have Ubuntu, Debian, Fedora, Arch Linux, and all these other systems, especially Homebrew for your Mac, which I recommend you get Homebrew and use Homebrew if you aren't already. It makes installing packages and applications super easy on your Mac. Or you could just install MOSH using the Mac package here. If you're using Windows, I'm sorry, but this is more of a Mac operating and Linux, Unix kind of thing going on here. So one thing you'll notice that isn't here is CentOS. And DigitalOcean offers a CentOS image, as you'll see right here. But Mobile Shell doesn't have the CentOS installation listed here. Not to worry though, MOSH has got you covered. If you go to his Google Plus post, you'll see that he's given us an option to install MOSH on the CentOS system. So we use this simple command here along with yum install MOSH, and then it'll install Mobile Shell on our CentOS system with just those two commands. So in this episode, we're going to cover installing Mobile Shell on Ubuntu and CentOS. If you want to go ahead and install MOSH on Debian, Fedora, and Arch Linux, by all means do so if that's the server that you're running, and you can use these commands here to get it installed. Installation is very simple, and the ease of use for MOSH is very simple. It's much like SSH. So let's get started. Let's go into DigitalOcean. Let's create our droplet, and I'm just going to name it MOSH. Just for example's sake, we'll go ahead and select the smallest size, region closest to me. I'll start with CentOS. And then I'll choose the CentOS 6.4 times 64-bit, and then I'll create droplet. I'm going to pause this video real quick so that the droplet can create itself. Now that the droplet has created itself, I'll go ahead and I'll SSH into my server using this IP address right here. So if you're using DigitalOcean, you should have been emailed a login for your root access to your server via terminal. So let me go ahead and switch into terminal. I'm going to type SSH root and then the IP address for my server. So I pasted that in. Next, I'll click enter, and it's going to ask me for my password. And again, you should have gotten that password via email. Actually, the first time that you log into your server, you'll notice a authenticity of hosts, and it can't be established. Just go ahead and type in yes, because this is a server that you created, and you want your local host to remember that you're going to be connecting to this server. So I'll just go ahead and type out yes and click enter. Then I'll go ahead and I'll enter my password, and you'll notice that I am now connected to my server. So I'll clear this up so that it's a little easier to read. And I'm actually within the CentOS operating system right now, so I'll go ahead and I'll demonstrate how to install Mobile Shell on CentOS. All you have to do is type in rpm-UVH and then the URL to this package right here. And I'll go ahead and I'll include this command within the video notes. So let's go ahead and click on enter. It retrieved the package for us. Now all we have to do is yum install MOSH. Alright, so it's installing MOSH for us, and it's going to ask us if we are okay with the download size. I'm going to type in Y for yes. It's going to download the packages for us and continue installation, and just go through these prompts, just clicking yes for each one of them. And then it's completed. Now we can check that Mobile Shell is installed by typing in MOSH-V, which is checking the version for Mobile Shell, and just clicking on enter. Alright, and you'll see that Mobile Shell 1.24 has been installed. Now that we've got it installed in CentOS, I'm going to demonstrate how to get it installed within Ubuntu. So let's go ahead and clear out. And let's log out of my server. So let's go back into DigitalOcean. We're going to create another droplet, and I'm just going to name this MOSH2. Leave that there, set it to Ubuntu. Then I'm going to set it to the latest one, the latest version. But if you go back into MOSH and you take a look at it, it's 10.04 and later. So we should be okay as long as the version is above 10.04. I'm just going to go ahead and choose the latest one. Click on create droplet. I'll go ahead and I'll pause the video while the droplet installs itself. Alright, so MOSH2 has been installed. Again, I'm going to take this IP address here, and then I'm going to go back into terminal, do SSH, and then I'll put root and the URL to my server, press enter. And then I'll go ahead and I'll just press yes to confirm that I do want to establish a connection. So yes, it's going to ask me for my password. I'll just type in my password. Again, you should have received this password via email. So I'll go ahead and I'll just type that in or paste it in. Then I'll press enter. It'll establish the connection. Now for Ubuntu, what we want to do is we want to go back to the Mobile Shell website, and we're going to take the commands here, and we're going to copy and paste them into our terminal application real quick. So I'll go ahead and I'll just paste that in as is. I'll run through the prompts here, and I'll just say yes to it. And what we're doing is we're installing the dependencies. So let's go ahead and continue to do that. Last but not least, let's go ahead and install it. Alright, now just press yes. And then we can check if Mobile Shell is installed on Ubuntu by going Mobile Shell V, and we should have MOSH 1.2.4. Alright, so it's super easy to get these installed on the servers. You'll notice that I did skip one of them because the command was not found, and that's related to the version of Ubuntu. So it should be okay without it. It was installed perfectly okay. And what we can do now is that we can actually Mobile Shell into the server. So if I go ahead and I log out, and I'll go ahead and I'll clear up this window, what we'll do is we'll Mobile Shell into the root with the IP address once again. So I'm going to grab the IP address, I'm going to paste that into here, press enter. It's going to ask me for my password just like SSH does. Then I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to type in my password, press enter, and I'm connected. It's super easy to do that, and I can run some commands. I'll go ahead and I'll use top so that I can see what's running on the server. I'll go ahead and I'll just press Control C. It'll get right out of that. We'll clear that up. MOSH is super easy for just a variety of things. Again, it's super great if you're on a network of some sort that has some latencies. You may not notice it right now because I'm actually using a very fast internet speed, but You'll notice it greatly, again, if you're on a wireless network with a lot of latencies. So I can go ahead and I can log out, just like with SSH. All the commands are the same. You're just using a different type of protocol. So I hope Mobile Shell helps you out. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. I look forward to hearing from you guys. And again, I hope this has helped you.